Well, if you haven't figured it out yet, this lesson is supposed to be kind of funny. The easiest way to start it is to start with an oval shape up here, because that's you looking at your toilet paper roll where the hole is in the toilet paper roll. And then we're going to roll the toilet paper to the right because we want it to come down this direction. So we'll start right over here on the side, and you're going to come out and leave yourself about a 1/4 inch in between the lines like this, or a little bit closer is fine. The more times you go around this, the more work you're going to have to do. But I think the cooler that it looks, okay? Try to be as equal as you can. Now, actual toilet paper is wound a little tighter than this picture is going to be, but this is supposed to be kind of silly. So this is a loose roll of toilet paper. Once you come down straight after you've done quite a few rolls, you could do even more than that if you have the time to do it. Now, if you have not done one of my other scrolls or ribbons or flag classes, you might want to go back and review those before you do this one. Especially if this one's hard, you probably should review the other ones. Okay, so we're going to go with horizontal lines here. So we start at the very, very tippy top, and we're drawing a line very similar to the top of your page. So parallel with the top of the page. Then we're going to keep going at the top of every curve. If you hit a line, stop. So top, stop, top, stop. And continue until you don't have any more of these and you hit the oval. Then you're going to go to the very, very bottom and repeat this. Across. When you hit a line, you stop. If you cross any lines, you're actually making a mistake. Also remember you're at the very, very, very bottom of the curve. And that's how you would do the side of the roll. This is where it attaches into the roll, so there's no need for a line there. Now, in order to make this look like toilet paper that's wrapping around, we could just do straight. But if you've ever had a little brother or little sister or maybe yourself who has played with the toilet paper before, we're going to give it that played look like it's been spun. So watch me here. You're going to go down and then loop back up with a paper clip turn. Then you're going to come down again. Make sure you go past that curve. Okay, go past that curve, and then you're going to come up again. Don't go as high as that curve, though. Come quite a ways down, but don't go back up as high, okay? That'll help with your illusion. Go down again. Okay, pretty long. You're going to come back up. Make sure it's not just a teeny curve up. Come back up. It'll look better. Okay, we're not done yet. Go down again. This one's going to be different, okay? And now we're going to curve up the other way. Make sure you don't touch that. Come back down. No points. Everything's curved, okay? Come down. And it's up to you if you want to do this last one. If you have room for it, put it in. Go up again and then off the page. This might be longer for you or short. If you don't have enough room, just do as many as you have, because this is what I'm going to demonstrate. So the first ones are really easy. We're going to go to the bottom of all these curves. To the bottom, draw a line, stop. To the bottom, draw a line, stop. Draw a line, stop. Draw a line, stop. There's only one at the top, and that's this one. The rest of the lines will be out here. So what's happening in this picture is the paper's getting folded up and down as it kind of spins. So we want our toilet paper sheets, the little sheets of toilet paper, to all be the same length. So these next lines need to look really similar in length. In fact, you could even measure them if you wanted to. So whatever length this line is, the one above it should be the same length. And the one above that should be the same length. The problem is when we get over here, the lines are actually going to move over, so they should look shorter. Otherwise, you've made a mistake because you've made them fat and narrow. So this length here should look the same length as this one. I'm thinking, oh, maybe a little bit more. One trick I have for you is if you take your pencil like this and pinch it, and then you can go over here and check how close you are. And you could say, I'm pretty close. Maybe a teeny bit more on this one. You can check them all and see if they look like they're similar in length. I'm thinking this one is still a little bit short. Okay, and then I need to do it again at the tippy, tippy, tippy top of the curve. And then I'm going to check that this one here is really close to the same length as that one. Oh, I went way too short. Okay, so here is the same as here, a teeny bit more. And then here, a little bit more on that one. And here, I'm pretty good. Okay, once you've got it pretty close to all these lines being the same, it gets a little bit easier. So this one's really easy. You're just going to kind of curve it and go off the page. Let's skip that one for now. This one's going to kind of curve. Okay, this one's going to kind of curve when you hit the toilet paper. Stop. This one's going to kind of curve when you hit the toilet paper. Stop. Now, you never want to hit this corner because this is basically moving across. So even if you drew this line, you could erase some of it. I'm actually realizing that I should have brought this in a little bit. Unfortunately, I cannot erase because I did this with ink to make sure you could see it. So that's all correct. The problem is this one here. Well, if you think about it, this sheet is about the same size. Just so long as you don't hit that corner and you come in a little bit, it'll look great. So that's all I needed to do, because what's happening is the paper's going this way, the paper's going that way, and then it's coming off the page. And that's it. That's your toilet paper rolling. Now, if you wanted to take it a step further, you could do a little bit of shading. I think if you do shading with this one in ink, it would be a lot of work. So I'm just going to show you how to shade it if you did it in pencil. So you would want to shade it diagonally on the very bottom of their curves and on the very top. Notice how I'm shading it diagonally. And I'm just doing kind of a little bit of a zigzag because what I want this to do is I want this to look a little bit rounded. So I'm going to kind of curve these lines going around. And I'm going to curve these lines going around. So it doesn't just have a little bit of shading. It kind of has two layers, a shorter and a longer line. So it kind of fades into the toilet paper and it's not super quick. So that same look would be the top here and the top here. So I would be doing this same diagonal shading all the way across the line and then lightly curving it downward. So it looks like the paper is rolling. This one would look exactly the same. And if you guessed it, this one would look exactly the same too. While I'm doing this quick little shading, pretty much all the rules are the same for ribbons and scrolls and wrapping toilet paper. It's just another way to practice was to make the TP today. So I'm going to go to the top of this one. And I've done this really quickly. You could go a little bit neater and do a nicer kind of blended. You want it to be sort of gradual, okay? From dark to light. So there we've got the top done. Now, the bottom. Well, we can only see the bottom a little bit on this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And then we're kind of inside. So when you're shading inside, like in here, all you really need to do is just add a little bit of shading here at the bottom. Just a little bit, like this. And a little bit up here at the top. And a little bit up here at the top. So a little bit at the bottom here. And a little bit at the bottom here. And that's really all the shading you need to put on that. Now, what about this? Well, this is a little trickier. See how we did the little diagonals at the bottom here and the diagonals at the top? Well, the top is just like this one. So you're just going to do a little shading at the top, a little shading at the top on each one, just a little bit, just to give it more of a three-dimensional look. Slightly shading the top. And then on the bottom, you would reverse it. So angled at the bottom. Realize I'm above the flat line though. I'm above the flat line. And that'll really give it a nice shading so it looks more three-dimensional in your picture. Well, what about this hole? Well, what happens with this hole, you guys, is it's dark in here. And as you get out, the lines get lighter. So it actually has a curved shading because this is rounded, right? And you get more or less as you come out of the hole. The hole gets really dark in here, more shading to less and less and less. The cool thing about art, you guys, is if you get that too dark, you can always lift it off by erasing lightly if you get it too dark. But you basically are trying to get it from dark to light inside that hole, just to make it look more three-dimensional. If you want to take it a step further, you would shade above this curve just slightly, which would make these look like they're laying next to each other. So you're on the outside edge, not the inside edge. Just a little bit. So this one pulls in front of that one. This one pulls in front of that one. And you're just doing just a teeny bit. Now, actual toilet paper, you guys, the sheets are laying so close together, you wouldn't see all of this detail in it as much because everything is really, really tight. But you can draw it this way because it's a lot more fun, and it also looks pretty cool. So this would be more of a loose roll. Don't forget, you can always look at things from different directions and see different things. Now it's laying on the ground. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson and it was fun to you, and I'll see you for the next one.